What's going on, y'all? Once again, we have a very, very special guest here, man. We have a credit and funding expert, Dixon Parker. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, boss man? Excited to be here, man. Gonna drop some gems for y'all today. Yeah, let's do it.
Yes, indeed. Man, I don't think I've seen you since the very first time we met.
Yeah, it been a minute, man. It's been a minute, a couple years probably, but we've been in contact shit. And we done did a
Yeah,
lot of business together,
yeah,
so
we're gonna do that.
that's how
But
it be.
yeah, I remember the first time I met you was at a mixer in Dallas, man, and we just connected. You came off genuine. I needed your services, the credit. I was at a space and a time of my life where I was in transition, and you did me right, bro. So I appreciate you for that.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, I want to say a couple years ago, I was hitting all the events in Dallas, man, just networking and getting my name out there, and trying to make a difference for
And
sure.
that's what it takes. So let's take it back, though, man. Let's for the people that don't know you or your backstory, like where did you grow up? How did you grow up? How did you even make your way out here?
Yeah, for sure. So I got an interesting story. I barely talk about this. So just growing up, I mean, something, just with my family, growing up, my pops was a kingpin, was on America's Most Wanted. So I was born on the run of, while he was on the run out in Dallas. But my family originally from Detroit. So, once he passed away, rest in peace, my pops, we moved to Michigan. Well, my family was already in Michigan, but, we moved back to Michigan. And I had a pretty normal childhood growing up, man. And then, like around high school, I was taking the rap and stuff serious. So a lot of my followers probably know me from that. That's kind of how I got a lot
I
of
would
my
have not guessed that, bro.
yeah, bro. I got a lot of my Instagram followers from that. I was going crazy with the music, like trying to get rich from it for real. But I seen it wasn't making me no money. I'm spending all my money on studio time, videos. Like I was taking it serious for real. And then I went to MSU, still trying to do the rap stuff a little bit. Messing around in the streets a little bit, and around the pandemic time, I started really sitting down and getting serious about like trying to change my future and researching different avenues of how I can make money. I got myself a little funding because I already knew a little bit about the credit game, and I didn't invested in all type of courses for Airbnb, e-com automation. All that shit didn't go right. And then I ended up coming across somebody that did credit, and I ended up paying him for mentorship, and then that led to other mentorships, just starting to learn who the top in the game, and learning from them, and then I started creating my own sauce. But that's kind of how I got here today. Once I started my business, my first year, we did six figures our first year, and now we just trying to keep growing.
Man, congrats on
Almost
that.
year four now.
So it seems like you have the pedigree of a hustler. Just
No, for
kind of
sure,
growing
it's in
up.
my blood.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got the pedigree. The pedigree is a lot, and then it's like you tried things. Things didn't
for sure.
succeed, but you had a lot of lessons you learned that helped you become who you are today. And so let's talk about that. Like, what are some different struggles and challenges that you faced to get to where you are today?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like the initial challenges I had was this, for one, analysis paralysis. It's so many different ways to make money. It's all these gurus out here, saying, oh, you can do this to make money. So, initially I'm like, shit, I don't know what lane I want to go in. And, I just was trying different stuff, and I was, wasting money doing it. But, at the same time, it was lessons. And that's kind of how I got here today. I fell into the right industry, and, I love it. But as far as struggles, I mean, when I first started the business, it was initially like, I didn't start off just getting a bunch of clients and stuff like that. Like I used to pass out flyers at the mall and stuff like that on people's cars. I used to be scared to the mug. People
Yeah.
gonna be like, "Hey, what you doing on my car?" But yeah, man. So I mean, initially, I just never gave up, bro. I probably say like 4 to 6 months in, and start picking up, and then just been going ever since.
No, that's great, man. So like, what are like who's your target audience? Like, is it credit first, funding first? Like,
Yeah.
what's the process of how people can get involved with you and what journey you take them through?
Yeah, great question. So I feel like the reason credit is so great, anybody can benefit from it. So, I'm not targeting like, oh, only people 18 to 24, because it could be somebody, I got clients 50 years old that's trying to get funding to fund their business or, a new build. They're in real estate.
Mm.
And I got people that's 21 that's just starting out and, they trying to get funding or get their credit right to do things. And some people, they just want to get funding to travel hack, stuff like that. I'm big in the travel hack space. So I would say like my main goal is just to help as many people as possible because anybody can benefit from credit. I'm a living proof. I've been traveling all around the world. I take a trip like once a month, and it's all from the power of credit, and anybody can benefit from it. So, I'm trying to help as many people as possible, not like a specific group.
Man, you said a few things that I really love to hit on, but let's kind of take it back to like step one. Someone, they didn't grow up around the knowledge of credit. Parents
Hmm.
probably didn't have credit, probably abused their credit.
For sure.
Now they have to start at square one. How do they start their credit?
Great question. So, if I'm starting my credit out from scratch, I'm 18, 19 years old. I would start off for one creating relationships with banks like and credit unions. So you want to start off, I would start off with like a Navy Federal, DCU, and any type of bank really to just start creating those relationships because that makes a huge difference. If you got a thin profile and they see you in their system, you got a relationship, you've been making deposits for a little bit, they're gonna grant you approval rather than going to like a random bank and they don't know who you are.
Mhm.
But as far as building your credit out from scratch, I would start off with secured loans and secured credit cards. That way, you're showing the banks that you actually have liquid cash. One of my favorite secure cards is with Discover because it upgrades to unsecured credit cards. So let's say you put $2,000 on a secure credit card. After like 6 months, it'll become a regular credit card. Then you can like request a credit limit increase. Now, when you start applying for cards later down the road, they see you got a $3,000, $4,000 limit. I feel like a lot of people make the mistake of, oh, I got fresh credit, I'm about to apply for a credit card. They get Credit One or Capital One and it's $300 and that's going to hurt your comparable credit. So when you apply for stuff later on, they see, oh, he only got a she only got a $300 limit, we don't know if we can trust her or him with $5,000.
So for
So,
clarity, you're saying if you're starting from scratch, it's better to invest 500 to $1,000 in a secure card
mhm.
versus accepting a $300 unsecured card.
Exactly. You want to start off building with secure products. If you got a fresh profile, that way the first credit cards that you do apply for, they're gonna be fire limits. You can apply for better cards like American Express, Chase, stuff like that. They're gonna rock with you. But if you come out the gate applying for stuff, you only gonna get the lower tier cards, and then it's gonna hurt you more than help you later down the road. So that's what I would recommend, secure cards and even a secured loan as well. It's pretty much the same, but just in a loan form. And the banks love to see that. And that's going to be the best way to structure it. So I would start off with like two secured cards and like a secure loan. Let those sit for like 4 to 5 months. And this is what people need to realize starting out. Like it's a long game. You're not gonna come out the gate and in 2 months you got 100,000 in funding and can travel hack. Like you got to slowly build it so you got the perfect profile. But people starting out fresh, they in the best position because I look at it like you paint a picture for the banks to look at. So, you building your credit from scratch, you paint this picture for the banks to see, and now you getting approvals based off, what you built on your credit profile. But yeah, so two secure credit cards, a personal loan, let those sit. Then you can start going. And I would get like a authorized user. You could have like somebody in your family, add you as an authorized user. Make sure it's not maxed out, no late payments. It's a solid credit card. I would say over like a $5,000 limit. Um, Add that to your profile. So now you got a little mix of credit, and then you go ahead and apply for like your first couple credit cards after you let those sit for like a couple months, like 4 to 5 months, and then start with pre-qualified cards. That way you're not just applying for stuff, you can see if you pre-qualify first. So that's my recommendation, starting from scratch.
So what's the difference between like the trade line and the authorized user?
So it's the same thing. It's just different names for it, but just for layman's terms, for everybody watching, trade line, authorized user. let's say I got a credit card from Chase for $5,000. I can add you on my Chase credit card, and that credit line is going to report to your credit. So now when, you'll go apply for something, they see that line of credit on it. It just kind of helps when you starting off from scratch. You just got, the icing on the cake. It's not like, oh, you add a trade or you start from scratch and you can add trade lines on there and just get 100,000. Like you got to have a mix. That's just the icing on the cake.
So for clarity, you need two secure credit cards,
Yep. If I'm starting from scratch. Yep.
one personal loan,
Secured loan. Yep.
secured loan,
Yep.
and then you will want to be added as like an authorized user or
Yep.
trade line.
Yep. Just to
Okay.
be in the best position when you apply for your first couple credit cards. And then I would probably do like 2 to 3 unsecured credit cards, and that Discover card gonna be unsecured at that time. So at that point, you'll have like close to 6, 7 open accounts. Then you let all of those age for like another 6 months, and then you could go for more funding and kind of expand from there. But you always want to like let your credit age a little bit. Like when you apply for stuff and you got 4 brand new accounts, that hurts your average age. And the banks are looking like, oh, you just went to all these banks and got some capital. Why should we give them more money?
Yeah.
So keep that in mind, guys, for sure.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you breaking it down because even like, cause I'll show like some of like my credit success and funding success,
Mm.
and people, especially younger crowd. I have a audience of younger people, and they always ask me how do you start the credit, and so I never had like a game plan to give them. But
Hmm.
now that you've explained that, it's like I have a strategy that I can tell them to use now. So that's why I was really asking that question.
Yep.
So, and I know you have different tiers of customers and clients. So, talk about some of the success stories that you've helped with.
Yeah, for sure. One of my favorite stories, my mom was just telling me about this. And so my brother, shout out my boy Dill, he does real estate in Belize, and he had a client that needed my services. He needed help with his credit. He was about to like lose his home, etc. And he came to us. We got his credit cleaned. He was able to get some funding, have some capital in pocket, and he pretty much was like, "Bro, you saved my life." He was able to get some real estate in Belize. He bought some land. So that's one of my favorite stories to tell. But as far as other success stories, really my favorite thing to see is just getting people, access to funding. They got an idea or they got a business going, and I see them take that funding and they excel in their business. They invested in advertising, whatever they need, and I just see their business take off. They come back to me, yo, bro, I'm making 6 figures a year now, etc. Because I mean, everybody coming to me, they obviously need me for a reason, and we here to help. And I feel like everybody that we come to us, we clean their credit. It's a success story, but some people may not want to disclose like they situation or whatever.
Yeah,
But yeah, bro, plenty of success stories. But that one my favorite. Bro bought some land in Belize after we cleaned his credit, and he was able to keep his house.
man, that's dope. And that reminds me of the success that you've helped with, like helping me with my credit, but also helping me give me some funding because I started buying a few pieces of land. So
Fire.
now,
Yes, sir.
now we're in position to do more of the build and flips, and I'm really looking forward to that. And also, we have some reserves, like some fundings and reserves
Mm.
for like later on for like ads and stuff that we're running for our digital products. So greatly appreciate you for that, man. And so let's say you have somebody that you fix their credit, they want to get funding, but they don't know where to put the funding. Do you have
Mhm.
like an ecosystem or strategies that you consult them on where to put the investment?
Yeah, for sure. So I actually get this question quite often. For people that have great credit, they're in position for funding and don't know what to do with it. My advice is either one, get funding and invest into mentorships, because obviously vet them, make sure they solid. But mentorships is the best money you can invest when you learning from somebody that's doing exactly what you do, what you want to do, and they're successful at it. That's life changing. So I would say that would be my number one. Number two, one thing we've been doing with a lot of our clients that don't have a business, but want to put that capital to use. We partner with a couple of builders here in Dallas that build homes from scratch, and we're able to take our clients' capital and put it with them, and they get a nice return back for the capital they invest for them to go build houses. So that's another avenue we've been opening for our clients. That way, they just put in their credit to use and not really putting in have to put in any work for it.
That's interesting, bro. So
Yeah,
it's really
yeah.
like a what do you call it? Like a private equity group in a way.
No, for sure, bro. We really been ramping it up the past couple months. Before I usually would say like, invest into a mentorship or just hold off, but keep your credit in shape, and when you're ready to pull the trigger, let's get you some funding and put it to work. Because the worst thing you want to do is get funding and not know what to do with it, or you just throwing money everywhere with no
Yeah.
plan. You want to have a plan with your funding. But I definitely, help people make sure, they put in the right position. I'm not here to just get you funding and send you out your way. I want to see people take that funding and go crazy with it and change their life.
So let's talk about like the interest on these cards.
Mhm.
So I know when you had set me up, I had the 0% interest for a certain amount of time.
Yes,
And
sir.
then what happens after that if I don't use the cards? Am I able to like reset that time on that card? If so, what are the strategies to do that?
Yeah, for sure. So the business credit cards, even personal credit cards, they have 0% interest offers. That's what all of our clients love because you could put that capital to work and not pay any interest on it. But after that 12 months, let's say you didn't use it or your investment hasn't been returned yet and you still got a balance on the card, one thing you can do, you want to keep your personal credit, obviously in shape still, but you could go for another round of funding, get more 0% cards and move those balances over to new 0%. So that's kind of a way and a hack that you can get 0% for 2, 3 years. I've been doing it personally myself. I've been in the credit game 4 years, and every year, if I have balances, or when I did, I would just get new 0% cards and move the balances over. Some credit cards, they have 0% balance transfer offers for 12, 13 months. So you can get approved for the new 0% card and then just go through the bank and balance transfer it so you don't have to like liquidate and stuff. But other cards, you will have to liquidate, which is a whole nother rabbit hole. But it's definitely easy ways to do it. And once that year is up, you can get more 0% funding. But the main thing y'all need to remember is after the year is up, your personal credit still needs to be in shape. But that's another reason why I love business credit cards, because you can put balances on it and it won't reflect to your personal credit. So you could literally just keep getting more business cards because nobody, certain banks, they can't see that you have, these other business credit cards. They only looking at your personal credit.
And I think a lot of people don't understand that part. Like, with the personal, I think you can't go over 30% of the personal card. And
Mhm.
then, with the business, even if you go over 30%, that doesn't affect your personal credit. Is that correct?
No, for sure. Now, the thing with the 30%, a lot of people like hear that online and stuff like that. I usually tell people like to have a perfect profile, especially if you want to go for funding, and keep it under 10%. Like
Mm.
30% is cool, but like you want to be in tip top shape. You don't want to give the banks any reason to decline you or give you a low limit. So keep your balances under 10% if you're about to go for funding. But another thing for you guys, you can max out your personal cards, but you want to keep it under a certain limit before the statement date hits. So like you could use the full balance and then pay it off every month. You just don't want to have that balance showing before the statement date and it reflects on your credit.
Okay, so you can use as much as you want, just pay it before the balance is due.
The
And then,
statement
I
date.
mean, the statement date is
Yep, because it's
due.
different. Yep.
And then when the date is due, you want less than 10%
Yep, for sure.
utilization.
If you about to go for funding, I definitely recommend under 10% for
Okay.
sure.
And that makes sense why you told me to pay off that one card as well that I
Yep, for
had a
sure.
balance on. That makes
Gotta be
perfect
in a
sense.
tip top shape, man, to get the best approvals for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. Man, I'll tell you one thing, bro. It was I think it's the Capital One and that American Express.
Mm.
I get some really great travel deals with those cards, bro.
Hmm. That's my favorite perk of the credit game, man. The travel
Yeah, bro.
hacks.
Like I could be anywhere and I can just get free hotels just off the points.
Exactly.
So talk about like that strategy. Is that a strategy that you're coaching people on doing the
No, for
traveling?
sure. So one thing about us, like when I'm getting people funding, I'm also giving them tips on how they can maximize and hit these sign-up bonuses, what they are, how to leverage them to travel for free. But just to give y'all some game on kind of how I look at travel hacking and how to leverage your credit doing it, you literally can, get a credit card. Let's say you got a certain trip planned out. You could get a specific credit card if you know what airline you're about to fly to or fly on or the hotel. Get approved for that credit card, hit the sign up bonus, bam. Now you got these points and you can either transfer it to that specific airline or it's already with that airline. But one of my favorite two is Amex and Chase because they partner with a bunch of different airlines and hotels. So if you guys are starting out travel hacking, focus on those two banks. That way, you can stack those points up and then you can use them for different hotels, Marriott, Hilton, Hyatt, and then a bunch of different airlines. And that's how you get the best redemption. So you never want to redeem directly through American Express or Chase because they're gonna give you the worst redemption. You want to transfer those points out, and you could literally use ChatGPT. Like, okay, I'm trying to go to Tokyo. What's the best flight redemptions on points if I got Amex points, etc. And they'll literally give you the game plan. Like, okay, you can fly on this airline for 60K points. You can transfer your points from Amex to them, and bam. But kind of how I do it now, bro. I've been doing it for so long. I literally every like 2 months I get a new credit card and just hit the sign up bonus, and now I'm just stacking points at different airlines or like of course with American Express, Chase, but other banks too. That way I'm just stacking them up,
Dang. I've been
because
doing it
most of them,
wrong.
yeah, bro, most of them are business credit cards, so it's not like I'm getting a bunch of brand new accounts on my personal credit. So, bro, you just literally get a new. Because the way I look at it, everybody in America, you spending a couple $1,000s a month, most likely. At least $3,000-$4,000. You got to pay rent. You gotta, put food on the table, etc. And these sign-up bonuses, you might have to spend, let's just say $6,000. You're gonna spend the money anyway. Why not get this credit card and put the spend on that? And then in 2-3 months, you got 100,000 points to redeem for free travel. It's literally getting free travel just for money you was already gonna spend. So that's kind of how I look at the travel game, man.
I like that. I like how you broke that down. I've been doing it wrong, bro.
Yeah, bro. It's a cheat code, man. Like I'm living in GTA right now, bro. I'm just
Yeah.
fucking flying everywhere, bro, because I just been stacking points.
Nah, I love it, man. And I seen you've been spending a lot of time in Mexico, bro.
Yes,
I
sir.
love
Yes, sir.
Mexico. What's up with Mexico, bro? What you got going over there?
Yeah, for sure. So for the viewers, man, one of my goals right now is to learn Spanish. Estoy aprendiendo.
See,
But
see.
he said, see. But really, man, I was always traveling out there, especially Mazatlan. It had I just got an apartment out there. So that's something big. It's right off the ocean. Super, super dope. But it got a special place in my heart because that was the first place I travel hacked and did a solo trip. So I always would go back every now and then because it's a super chill city. It's a beach city. The people super cool, and I'm trying to learn my Spanish. So I'm like, why not? I'm always going out there. So I got an apartment out there. So I've been back and forth. You know, if I'm not traveling, I'm just chilling out there, or I'm in Dallas. Business meetings, stuff like that. But that's pretty much what I've been doing in Mexico, man. Getting my Spanish right and just enjoying it, man, and trying to make content out of it too.
And your business is you can do it anywhere around the world.
Yeah, for sure. That's the best part about it, man. I'm still nothing changed in my business no matter where I'm at. I was just in Costa Rica a couple weeks ago, and the business still running as the same because all I got to do, is have my computer and my phone, and we lit.
Yeah. Nah, you definitely. I think I seen that, man. I was like, bro, that's dope, bro. Just seeing you over there with the content. Like I go to
Yeah, bro.
Mexico here and there, but what you're doing is like something that inspired me. I'm like, bro, we can do it too, bro. Like
No,
for
for
real.
sure. And like when you get a place out the country, specific places, the cost of living is so low that your dollar goes way farther. So my apartment not much out there. Like a lot of people could do it. Like if you got the flexibility, but it's definitely something new, man. I'm different, man. I'm like fuck it. I'm gonna get an apartment in Mexico. So
Yeah.
yeah, bro, it been dope, man. It's just trying new stuff, bro.
That's pretty great, man. Thank you for that. So, what else is going on in your world, man? Like, I know, you do a lot of the credit, the funding, anything else going
Yeah,
on in
for
your
sure.
world?
Right now, man, I'm just focused on building a business even more, man, helping more people. I've been starting to do more podcasts. I'm about to start my YouTube now. So I'm gonna be dropping a lot of game on my YouTube channel. This about to be on my YouTube channel. It's probably gonna be my first video, bro.
Let's get
But yeah,
it.
bro. So the YouTube coming, and I'm also about to launch like a school group or university to teach people, because no matter the age, the information that I got, bro, like it needs to be heard, because people that actually take advantage of it, they gonna change their life with it. And I know that. So I'm working on that right now. I'm building like the school group that just kind of teach people from A to Z about credit, how to get your self funding. And on the other side, how you can start your own credit business, because I do a few one-on-ones where I help people start their own credit business as well, because I mean anybody can do it and make a lot of money doing it. So that's something I like doing too, and that's
Yeah,
coming.
I can see you running that up for sure. Um, Man, if you need content, funnels, ad work, holla at your boy because we
Nah,
could
for sure,
definitely
sure.
we would definitely lock you in with that, and just make sure you well taken care of. But I can definitely see you running it up with that.
Yeah, for sure. That's coming soon, bro. I've been saying I'm gonna do it for so long, but I just been so focused on the funding and repair side, and I'll do like a few one-on-ones, but I'm ready to take it to the next level and like really help many people at once, and have a bunch of people in my group, and everybody getting results, everybody taking the game and doing stuff with it. So yes,
And that's
sir, that's
that's
coming.
great. That's great that you went through the journey that you're going through because a lot of the times online there's fake gurus out there, saying they can
Facts.
help you do this, do that. But you have social proof that you've actually built a real legitimate business
No, for
and you're
sure.
using the strategies that you're talking about. So that gives you
Yep.
credibility as a mentor.
No, for sure. That's something I pride myself in, man. I always try and do good business. I always be transparent with people. Like when I'm on the phone with somebody and they trying to get they credit repaired in 1 month, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like
It ain't
it's
gonna
not gonna
work.
take a month. You know what I'm saying? If you can't wait, then you know what I'm saying. It
It's
may be
not your
best to
game.
not work with us, because I don't want you coming at me. Like you know what I'm saying. I always keep my word and do good business, because when you do good business, the word of mouth spread. Like I don't run ads, bro. All my business is off word of mouth and affiliates, because we do good business and we keep our word.
And it seems like the business that you're in, it's not really a one off, it's more ongoing. Because no matter if you need your credit repaired ongoing, you're probably going to need funding ongoing, especially if you're an investor. You
Nah,
do
for sure.
something once, it works, you're going to do it again and over and over. So it seems like that's kind of how the business is.
No, for sure. I mean, most people they'll take the initial round of funding, and then a year later they may want another round of funding, or they get their husband or wife funding, and they're just trying to grow the operation even more. Cause kind of what how I first got into the game, and when I first learned about credit, I'm like, well, fuck, I can take 5 family members, we all get 100,000, and we got a 500,000 to go do whatever with. Like that's the power of credit. Like if you get your people, y'all all get 100,000 in funding. Y'all can make big moves rather than trying to save 100,000. You can take the bank's money and save 5 years of your time and go crazy.
So let's talk about the business model for like the potential mentees out there listening to this. How can they make money in this business model?
No, for sure. So the way I tell people is everybody needs either credit repair because their credit is bad, and they're trying to get a car or house soon, or even funding. So they're gonna need your service. It's not like a want. Like certain industries, like they have to want that, but the credit industry, they damn near need you. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, they're gonna keep getting denied, and that feeling after you get denied, they like, fuck, I need to make a move. You know what I'm
Nah, for
saying?
real.
So like we partner with a few like dealerships and stuff like that. And people, like shit, I just got denied. Like, that's a terrible feeling, bro. And they ready to make moves. But I tell my mentees, partner with people, like dealerships, stuff like that, because they qualify their clients with their credit. And if they don't qualify, they can send them to you. But as far as the business model, I mean, You do credit repair on one side, and then you do business funding, and personal funding, and you can maximize on both, and you can do it organically and build like affiliates where people are sending people to you, and you don't have to run paid ads, and it's a great business model. You can run it from anywhere, and it's not a lot of overhead. Like, it doesn't cost much to run a business. You don't have to have a warehouse or a bunch of equipment. All you need is your phone and a laptop.
I was just gonna say you really just need a phone and that internet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And the knowledge, bro, and you
yeah.
can turn up.
What's the price points of like the credit repair or what's the payout for mentees that get into the business?
No, for sure. So, um, it's really up to them. I tell people it's two ways you could charge people. You could do a one-time payment, or you could do like a monthly subscription. For me personally, I recommend doing a one-time payment because I mean you're dealing with credit repair people. They may not be the best with paying bills and stuff. So you don't want to be chasing 100 clients around make their next payment or whatever. So you want to get a one-time payment, and then after that, you clean up their credit and get them some funding, and you can eat off both sides.
Great stuff. And whenever they get the funding, is there a payout like for
Yeah,
getting them
so for the
funding?
funding, you know, most people they'll just charge on the back end, which is the perfect business model. I tell my clients, we don't get paid unless you get funding. So you're
Mm,
really not losing anything with, going to go for funding, because you either get your approvals or you don't come out of no money.
okay, I like
hmm
that.
Yeah,
I
so you
like
just
that.
pay a commission on the back end. It's a great business model.
That's great stuff. Well, man, I appreciate you pulling up, bro. I really
Nah,
do.
100%, brother, 100%.
Really do, bro. You had a huge impact in that transition of my life where I was at. So, you know,
Hey, I appreciate that, man. I love to hear that shit because I know, like, it's so many people, like, I didn't worked with over the past couple years, but I don't know the type of effect that I done had, just cleaning their credit and getting them funding. But I love to hear that shit, bro. And yeah, man, let's do it.
yes, indeed. Well, is there anything else you would like for the audience to know about Dixon?
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna keep the content coming, man. Stay tuned. I got a bunch of stuff coming, man. If y'all want to leverage y'all credit to, go crazy and take your life to the next level, definitely stay tuned because I'm gonna give y'all the game to do it. I'm gonna drop a lot of YouTube videos, even on my Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that. I'm really just trying to spread the message, bro, because I'm living proof. A lot of my people are living proof that, you can take your credit, get yourself access to capital and change your life with it, travel for free, the whole 9 yards. And anybody can do it. It don't matter what walk of life you came from. It don't matter if you came from the streets, a 9 to 5 background. Everybody got a credit score, and everybody can leverage it.
Man, appreciate it. Well, you heard it here, man. See y'all next time.
Let's go.